Hi, creative friends. This is Shreya, and thank you so much for being here. So I am super excited to dive right into this spread. And that's what I mean about, sometimes we just need to leave things alone. Like with my portrait that I was working on, when I was approaching it, I was getting so full of anxiety and frustration. But, when I'm looking at this spread, I'm like, oh my God, I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what happens. And I'm just in the moment. I'm in beginner's mind. I'm in flow state. Being curious and interested and not fighting the page like I was with this particular spread. So I think the best thing for me to do is just leave this alone for a minute. But anyways, I also started working on this, and you can't tell, but there was a portrait that was on this page, and I might have actually made a video, um, you know, like using this portrait as well, but I covered up a lot of the portrait, but I left parts of it. Um, like this over here is the cheek, this is the hair, etc. And I put it outside to dry, and I am just loving this spread as well. So yeah, I'm just super excited. Now I did cover the eyes up, but for some reason the eyes are still there. So I am going to use some collage and completely cover the eyes up. But I am really interested in this spread, where it's going. Now, I really do wish that I knew exactly what color I used for this blue, because not only do I love it, but I want to repeat that exact same blue on this page to unify the page, but I really don't remember what exactly I used. But anyways, I'm not going to focus on that. Maybe it'll come to me. I'm going to really try to like maybe tomorrow I'm gonna really try to spend like an hour and go through all of my stuff. Oh my God, that sounds daunting, but I really want that particular blue. So you guys, I know I'm gonna make a video about studio logs. I've been saying I'm gonna make it for such a while, but while I work on this, I'm just going to talk about studio logs for a minute. So basically, I do my studio log the way Connie kind of talked about when I was in Oaxaca, and she talked about the way she does her studio log. And over the years, I've kind of just adjusted it for my own personality or what I'm working on or whatever. But there are so many different ways to do a studio log, and there's no right or wrong. And I am going to use a little bit of this collage, but a little goes a long way because it can be overpowering. So I don't want to use too much of it. And I don't know. I don't know. I thought I might want to use it, but it might be too overpowering in this particular spread at this stage, maybe later. Anyways, I'm sorry. But I, have read up on studio logs, just different ways of doing it and how different artists use their studio logs. And some artists get really, really detailed. Like, that's not my thing. That would just not appeal to me. It would seem like too much of a job, and I wouldn't like want to do it. But it's important to know your personality and what works for you. But some artists get so detailed that they write everything down. So just say they were doing this spread, they would write down, okay, this particular blue is, and they would write the brand, and they would write, etc., etc. They would write everything down about everything. And I've even seen, there was a lady who did, I think it was pottery, and she kept such detailed records of everything she made. Like she would actually, I think she would actually like put a photo of like her pottery, like a photo, and then, she would write down the particular mixture, the colors she used. I mean, it was very, very detailed. And while I admire that, it's not something I would do. So the way I use my studio log is, and this is kind of the way Connie talked about it, is she actually talks to her paintings. So she will have a conversation with her spread. And so she will write down conversations, and anything that wants to come up comes up, you know, obviously, because you're just being completely honest. So in that way, it's kind of like journaling, you know, in a sense. And then you allow the spread to tell you where it wants to go, you know, and you learn to listen to your intuition. And that really appeals to me because it's just like a very intuitive way of working. And so it kind of appeals to my, I don't know, my sense of spontaneity and like allowing my painting to lead me. And, you know, like I said, over the years, I've adjusted it. I've adjusted it to different art journals, etc. But that's the way I use my studio log. And I use it to strengthen my visual language. Like, you know, what do I like? What don't I like? That's super important to know those things about ourselves. Because if you know what you like, what you don't like, that is just going to strengthen your visual language. So that's kind of the way I use it. That's how, and you know, that's how I use it, and that's the reason why I use my studio log. So I can delve deeper into my art process, so I can allow the page to lead me, because sometimes what I think the page wants to be is not the way that, not what wants, sorry, let me start over. Sometimes what I like imagine in my head is the way the page wants to show up is not the way the page really wants to show up. And once I let go of my expectations, then the way the page wants to show up is going to show up. It's going to feel free to show up. I'm going to listen to my intuition moment to moment. I'm going to be like, hey, instead of, you know, everything I've learned so far says that these two colors don't go together, but for some reason, these two colors, it feels like they just want to kind of show up in this, you know, these two colors want to show up like this. So I'm more willing to listen to my intuition. And that's like moment by moment. That's choice by choice. You know, so, oh, I want to put this mark down here. Oh, I want to put this color down here. Oh, I want to put this dot down here. So that's how I use my studio log. So I hope I'm making sense, you guys, and I'm not rambling on incessantly. But I want to like cover up all the features here. That's my main kind of one of my main goals here. Like, I don't want this to look like a face. You know, I wanted to, like, I still want to retain like some of the beautiful color feels for sure, but I want to get rid of the like image. I want it to be more abstract, like this one over here is very abstract. So I think it's still kind of like looks, this one, it's still, it has like a face quality to it here. Let me see here. Maybe if I kind of go like so, and I don't know if I'm really digging this, but at least I'm getting it covered up, which is what I want. I think I need to like put more blue in here. So I'm feeling the beginnings of a new art journal with this book right here. But like I said, I'm going to have to journal about it and kind of see what wants to come through. I think it's going to be like very abstract, you know, more abstract than say my 100-day portrait like my 100-day project portraits, mixed media portraits. So like I think I did start like, see, like my first, this is my first spread. This is from like 3 or 4 years ago, I'm thinking. So I did set the tone, you know, for like an abstracted kind of a feel to it. So I think I'm gonna go with that. Okay, so I feel like I've gotten rid of the face here. I'm really not liking this big circle over here, you guys. It just looks really awful. It looks like it doesn't belong there. But I did get rid of the face, so, I mean, I'm happy about that. Sometimes you just gotta take the wins where you can find them, I guess. Now, I feel like these two pages, they don't really go together. Like, I just feel like they're disjointed. So that's something I'm gonna think about. So I think what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna let this completely dry, but I think what I'm gonna do for my next, like the next time I work on this, so my next video, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a color palette and I'm gonna use that color palette on both pages. I think that's what I'm gonna have to do to kind of like, you know, make it cohesive. But anyways, okay, you guys, I am gonna leave this right here, and it looks like a big juicy mess, I know, but you know, there are parts of it that I do really like. There are parts of it that I do enjoy. But yeah, it does look like kind of a big looking interesting, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks so much for watching till the end, you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.